Help keep Kinks and Beats Daily ad-free and receive bonus content early with a contribution of 20 cents per episode. Visit herohabit.com/shop for more information. Welcome to Kinks and Beats Daily. I'm your host, Tony Fry. This is episode number 104. Thank you for downloading and listening. Today we are talking about the song Bug, which is by Dave Davies, and it was released May 7th, 2002 on the album of the same name. I'm going to admit to you, I do not know a ton about this album. It's not one that gets a heavy rotation on my list for whatever reason. This song's not bad. Opens with a real crunchy guitar riff, has a beautiful bridge that's got some interesting chord progressions. The last two, it's almost 5 minutes long. The last 2 minutes of the song, I think, really are where the piece shines, with a breakdown, with a focus on the more pop-centric chord changes, the great guitar solo by Dave. The last 2 minutes are great. The first 3 minutes aren't bad, though. And it's definitely a highlight of this album, which is probably why it's got it's the title track. The lyrics, little bit weird structurally, which I think lends itself to this being almost a speak-sing type of song until you get to the bridge, which I think makes the bridge more of a hook, because up until this point we're getting a lot of it's all monotone lyrical delivery. There's a bug in my brain and driving me insane. There's a bug in my mind of an alien kind. All the right is wrong and all the wrong and the wrong is all right. Gotta act, get it back. I'm losing my track. The last will be first and the first will be last. I got a bug in my mind of an implant kind. Got a bug in my mind of an implant kind. I'll be the bug up your arse. I'll be the bug up your arse. I'll be the bug up your ass. I'll be the bug up your ass. And then we get to the bridge, which is before I die, open my eyes. Let me see the world in all its wonder. Let me see clear, life without fear, realizing the oneness of all life. Realizing the oneness of all life is kind of a clumsy line. It's like it's 2 syllables too long, but Dave actually squeezes it all in, and it's not a standout in a bad way. Now, that bridge, before I die, open my eyes, treads very, very dangerously close to becoming All the Young Dudes. Before I die, open my eyes. But that one little, he takes it up like a half step and throws in a cool chord that is actually a great hook and pulls it away from just becoming All the Young Dudes, tell me the news. And so that becomes really the hook of the song. You got this great guitar riff, but the guitar riff's not catchy. It's a solid rock and roll guitar riff, and those aren't typically catchy. It's a heavy rock guitar riff. This is not You Really Got Me or Day Tripper that are catchy riffs. This is a blues-based heavy rock guitar riff with a great guitar tone. And then we get to this softer, gentler, the chord changes of the bridge, like I said, that are more jarring to the ear. And then 3 minutes in, that becomes the focal point. It breaks down, we lose the guitars, and then it builds back up, and the guitar solo is written over these changes, and that becomes the focal point for a little bit. And then this song seamlessly goes into Debug, which is another 4-minute song that is largely instrumental. It's like a cross between new wave and progressive rock and trance rock, because it vamps on this one chord for most of the time. And the parts that aren't instrumental, where there are actually vocal lines, it's like Dave's flying in these vocals that are just kind of more ethereal. And so this isn't a song necessarily that you sing along to. There's not an established melody really, but it kind of flies in and out. And a lot of the lyrical content in those vocal additions does come from Bug. So for all intents and purposes, these work as one song. Debug works as just an extended refrain for the song Bug, turning it into a 9-minute song. For better or worse, Bug is essentially a 9-minute track on an album that is over an hour long already. There's some long songs on this album by rock and roll standards. Alien communication, neurotransmission triggered by electronic magnetic impulse wave. Oh, that old chestnut? How many rock songs do we have to hear about electronic magnetic impulse waves? My goodness, Dave. Like I said, the lyrics are something on this one. And the fact that he can fit the neurotransmission triggered by electronic magnetic impulse wave into a song is commendable unto itself. It's not a bad track. It's not one I go to and revisit often. This was the last album that he released before his stroke in 2004. So things are going to be different for a while as far as Dave Davies, the musician, is concerned, and Dave Davies, the person. But I think this sees him in fine form vocally and as a guitar player. I mean, he shines all over this record. This is a great riff and a good guitar solo on top of it. So there's a lot to like about this song. We'll dig deeper into Dave's solo stuff and this album in particular as the podcast goes, but I have opinions about it. What are your opinions about this song, this track, this album? I know in certain Facebook circles, Dave doesn't get the credit or the love that he deserves, and some people like to bemoan his status as a rock icon. This song, I think, at least from a guitar player standpoint, solidifies that. I mean, he's the guitar player here, and it's good tone, good riff, good solos. So what do you think? 925-494-1739. You can give me a call, leave a message about this song, any song we've talked about, any song we have yet to talk about. You can email me, kingsandbeats@herohabit.com. You can join the discussion group for Kinks and Beats Daily at herohabit.com. And of course, if you visit that site and click under the podcast menu, all the ways you can contact me are listed there. So I encourage you to do that and give us a 5-star rating and review on the iTunes. That's it for me. I don't have much to say about this song beyond that. So we're going to sign off with a podcast that's actually shorter than the length of Bug and Debug on this album. All right. I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Thanks for downloading and listening, and make sure to share this podcast with all your Kinks and Beatles loving friends. All right. Have a great day. This podcast is presented by the Hero Habit Podcast Network. Swing by HeroHabit.com today to comment on this episode and poke around our growing database of sports and pop culture news, reviews, and collectibles. HeroHabit.com. Collect your heroes.